Hello everyone, you are listening to and you are also watching to the show as you like it on the Czech radio station Radio Proglasu. My name is Yanis Moras and here in our live session studio I would like to welcome the band from Iceland, Árstíðir. Hi guys.
Hello.
They came from the country which has one of the most old parliament in Europe. Daniel,
Yes.
who are holding the guitar also, Gunnar,
Yes. Hi.
with a baritone guitar,
Yeah,
right?
Correct.
And Ragnar, who is playing the piano. But on tours and in the studio, the band teams up with the French string duo Jean-Samuel on violin. Nice to meet you and welcome. And Guillaume, who is holding the cello. So, how you guys, like you five, did meet? I mean, how three musicians from Iceland meet with two musicians from France, and why?
The thing about musicians is that we collaborate all the time. It's like in the nature and the DNA of musicians. You play music, but it also the word play means that you're playing. And when kids play, they play with another kid. With musicians, they play with other musicians. So naturally, musicians all over the world, they have their kind of these connections to other musicians, and it creates this sort of spiritual network in a way. So it's easier than you think to get to know musicians all over the world. And in this case, a friend of a friend introduced us to Guillaume, and he knew Jean-Samuel, and here we are after more than a decade together, like family.
So that's a very nice response. So you came to play here. So can you please play the first song? Which one will be?
Yes, of course. We're going to start off with a song that we wrote a few years ago, but we kind of went back a little bit to the basics as the band started. So just one guitar and three voices. So it's called Glid Ski.
Í leit að betra svari innan veggjana sem veita hugagrið uns frost úr jörð farið þá tími til að líta inn á glitský og ljós í hafi dagar kom og fara skilja eftir spor ég miðla málum við minnsta fram á vor við sjáum síðar til að lítum farin við og afsökun ekki nauðsynleg kannski á himninum sérlita til sem nú blasir við mér ný sála gömlum verða sporin snævi hulin gleymd en kunnuleg samleikur orð og gerða mun endurreisa allt sem orðið ég í það minnsta mun reyna að sjá á mér við sjáum síðar til að lítum farin við og afsökun ekki nauðsynleg með hugað vopni getur farið hvert sem lygna sjó en jafn sem öldu sker kannski á himninum sérlita til sem nú blasir við mér Kannski breytum við rétt þegar dagarnir brosa við þér. Því allt mun fara á endanum vel. Allt mun fara á endanum vel.
The band Árstíðir from Iceland is playing live in our live session studio on a radio Proglasu. So Gunnar, as you told us that the band started like this with one guitar and three voices, when it was?
This must be back in 2007 when the three of us Icelanders in the band we met in the university. Daniel and Ragnar were in the university choir, and I met them through a mutual friend, and then we just started playing cover songs together, just hanging out in Daniel's living room, and listening to Neil Young and Crosby, Stills and Nash, and fantasizing about what could be and what can we do as musicians. So we were at first just playing these songs, Simon and Garfunkel, everything with vocal harmony. And then we were playing bars as a trio in Reykjavik for a couple of years before we even started writing our own songs. That happened around late 2008 maybe, when we were starting recording our songs, and then we released our first album in 2009. So it kind of gradually took off with one guitar and three voices, and then we added another guitar and a piano and a cello for the first album as well, and then violin a little bit later. So it kind of built up gradually over time.
It's not your first time on our radio station, because you have been guest of my colleague Martin Kiszperski like 13 years ago. And so it's been a very long time, but in the meantime you have been traveling all around Europe, maybe even all around the world, and Czech Republic as well, right?
Yeah. We used to go here on summer tours before. I don't even know why we don't do that anymore. We really enjoyed it when we did it.
Summers in Czech Republic are the best.
Really?
Yeah.
Great.
It's warm, everything is green.
Nice vibe.
Good beer.
Beautiful landscapes.
Have you ever been to in the summer everywhere, like in Greece, Italy, and these?
Well, we played Spain a few times, a little bit maybe in France, but no, we've mainly been in the kind of like west and more northern parts of Europe.
Okay, and how is the summer in Iceland? On Iceland, maybe.
Well, it's very, very bright. So we have midnight sun, and you'll see that the sun is a bit of an obsession of ours. We love the sun, and we get a lot of it in the summer. And in the winter we get very little of it. So we even have a special name for the type of sunlight we have in the winter, which is vetrasol, and which is also the title of our new album that we just released. Yeah,
and we are gonna hear some of the new pieces, right? But not now. What is the second song?
This is a song that we played a lot in the Czech Republic. We released it in 2011, and those 2011, 13, 14 were actually also the years we toured the most here. So if anyone who's listening knows our band, then they've probably heard this one before. It's called Líbí Sant.
Þegar strönd horfir yfir og hugsar og lág og mikið og tíminn líður þá breytist svo margt sem aldrei neinn hafði fyrir sér. Næstu nótt förum heim, tökum ekki eftir þeim þungu skýjum sem herja á. Sjórinn gengur á land, skrifa í svartan sand ljóðin þín og lindarmálin. Fleiri stundir sem líða, hún finnur nú til og mikið og réttir hönd sína, segir svo margt, grætur hrærar svo. Næstu nótt fer ég heim, varla tek eftir þeim þungu skýjum sem herja á. Sjórinn gengur á land, skrifa í svartan sand ljóðin þín og leyndarmálin mín.
Very emotional, very
Thank you.
very beautiful song from Árstíðir from Iceland with two other musicians from France, we have to say. And one important question, what does it mean, Árstíðir?
It means seasons, referring to the different seasons. In Iceland we only have two, so summer and winter. You have four, I think.
Still.
And it's the reason why we chose this name for our band was quite simply because the music we were writing, and we had written pretty much our whole first album before we chose the name of the band, and what all the first songs had in common were metaphors and references to the nature and the climate in Iceland, and so we thought the name kind of wrote itself. And on the first album we picked we photographed the feathers of Icelandic birds, who not the ones who migrate but the ones who stay, and they change the feathers, so they have one type of feathers darker in the summer, and they have white feathers in the winter to sort of gel with the snow. So that's kind of became the original kind of metaphoric language of our music. So the name came naturally.
So the weather is one big topic for you and maybe for the people in Iceland generally.
Oh yeah, we live by the weather.
Yeah. What is today's program consisted of? We have heard two songs like from the older times, let's say, but now
we're going to sing even older songs, but they're not ours. So the songs on our new album Vetasol, it's an album with traditional, more or less old or very old Icelandic folk songs, and Icelandic folk music is an oral tradition. It's based on singing. So we'll sing you a few songs now, actually 3 in a row, which have they're more or less kind of old, but also they have a very certain Icelandic tonality, which means that it has echoes of a technique that predates music theory. And that's quite simply because Iceland was very isolated, so we didn't we didn't hear about the advent of music theory and Bach and Beethoven until a few hundred years later, which is why this kind of medieval Viking style way of singing kind of still lives on in our musical DNA. And I think especially the first two songs we're going to sing, they will prove my point quite well.
Okay.
Hér undir jarðar hvílir Móldus Sæmundar Klemenssonar líkami, sá fæddur 1760 gefinn til ekta guðelskandi, Ingibjörgu Sæmundar ástkæri dóttur. Hann var numinn til himnaskara, hvar hann tilbýður sin lausnara. Þar enginn grátur mælir meir. Krissundir merkjum kröftur barðist, kórónu hrætti því hann barðist. Sæmundur, Sæmundur, Klemens eyðir. Hér undir jarðar hvílir Móldus Sæmundar Klemenssonar líkami, sá fæddur 1760 gefinn til ekta guðelskandi, Ingibjörgu Sæmundar ástkæri dóttur. Hann var numinn til himnaskara, hvar hann tilbýður sin lausnara. Þar enginn grátur mælir meir. Krissundir merkjum kröftur barðist, kórónu hrætti því hann barðist. Sæmundur, Sæmundur, Klemens eyðir.
Very nice. So before you approach your positions, so it's a turn in your career, let's say, that before, you made songs with guitars and like, let's say, folk songs, and now these songs are not your own tunes or your own compositions.
Yeah, we could definitely say that. But since we performed what we call the train station song, we had like a viral hit on YouTube where we sang at a train station.
The song called Heyr himnasmiður, which we sang there.
And after that, people have always been asking us to write or release an a cappella album. And we kind of waited a little bit with it, but then we decided it was time to do it. And, you know, a really good a cappella song is something that you don't shake out of your sleeve. So we decided to kind of both embrace our heritage, you know, as Icelanders, to choose songs that were well known to all Icelanders, and also just songs that we all loved really dearly through the years.
Maybe I can add to that. The show we are performing tonight, on this tour, is a show we've been doing for ever since 2009 in a church around Christmas time in Reykjavik. And on these concerts, we have always been mixing our own material with other material, like more kind of folk songs or holiday or Christmas songs. So this is why we were singing the song Heyrim Smiður in the first place. That's how we knew it in 2013 when we sang it on that train station, because we had been performing it on our Christmas show. But after that time, we just started rehearsing a little more of these a cappella songs. So yeah, I would say for quite a while they have been a part of our repertoire, but we do less of them maybe when we are doing an album release concert, let's say, or something like that. But on this particular tour, the same concept as we've been playing in Christmas time in Reykjavik since 2009, we have usually incorporated like a few of these a cappellas. And it breaks up the set nicely and yeah, gives it a bit more dynamic.
So you bring a part of the traditional, let's say, Christmas time from Iceland here to us.
Yeah.
And yeah, these pieces sound to me like spiritual or even worship songs. Is it
some of them do have definitely some like Christian references.
Yes.
Not this particular one we just sang now.
Yeah.
But does it?
This is from a tombstone. This the lyric that we sang was written on a tombstone about Simon de Clemenson. He was born this year, and so the whole lyric is just what was written on a tombstone.
Yeah.
Cool. And I've noticed that also Guillaume and Jean Samuel sang in Icelandic. Yeah, so it was difficult to learn to sing in that language.
Well, we are, as you mentioned, both French, and we have the reputation that French is a hard language to learn. But I can tell you, Icelanders, they beat us a lot because it's not necessarily easy. But we know each other for more than a decade now, and we tour together. We all the time on the tour bus, and we really practice and we learn a lot. And I think now after this time, it's been some years now. It's getting better, I hope.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, you sound native.
So now the Icelanders can not talk about you in the one.
No, but the French can still talk about us in French because we haven't learned French yet.
You should to learn French. Okay. And how is the Christmas in Iceland? Yeah, briefly and generally.
It's a mix between old pagan traditions and sort of more modern Christian traditions. So we have a couple of mythical creatures still living on in our lore. A couple of Yule lads and a Christmas cat, and there's some trolls and stuff. So it's quite a mix, but it's kind of defines Iceland in general. I think this kind of it sits right between modernity and history, and that kind of goes like a red thread through all of our culture.
Not Santa Claus?
13
of them. Yeah.
13 of them.
Yes.
Well, they're Yule lads, and they kind of morphed into 13 versions of Santa Claus, but or vice versa.
So Icelandic kids, they receive gifts at night for 13 days until Christmas. From the
it starts on the 11th or 12th.
Yeah, 11th maybe.
So polyphony everywhere.
Sure.
So this is this old creepy man that visits the children at night for 13 times.
Yeah, they're actually pranksters, tricksters and pranksters. But with every decade, they became more and more friendly to the kids and started giving presents instead of stealing stuff.
Yeah, very nice. So, what is the next song about?
The next song is Ómin Flaskan Fría.
Yes.
Right. So this is again touching upon this what we call fimmundasöngur, which we're singing in parallel fifths, which is this old medieval style of singing. This song is actually a very old drinking song. So it means "Oh my lovely bottle." This show is like a window in a little bit how maybe people were having a party back in the old days. They would do like this instead of going to a discotheque. So we'll party now like it's medieval ages.
Ómin flaskan fríða, flest ég vildi líða, frostið fár og kvíða. eiga missa, mun ég mig að kýsa. Munnin þinn, munnin þinn, munnin þinn svo mjúkan finn, meir en ver ég hýsa.
The band Árstíðir from Iceland is playing live in our live session studio on radio Proglasu. And so the flaskan is the bottle?
Yes.
Mhm.
Because in Czech we say flaška.
Yes.
So maybe I should learn also Icelandic. Okay, and if I'm not mistaken, in some time you are gonna sing another a cappella song,
Mhm.
another a cappella Christmas song.
Mhm.
And what is it about particularly?
Just, I think it's about just the celebration, and I think, don't they mention Jesus there as well?
Probably.
Well, Manchester David Starr.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, just hátíð means the feast. So the feast is coming to your doorstep with in all its prime and with the coziness and everything that
The
comes
lights
with
and the
it.
trees
So it's just it's a Christmas song. Most Icelanders know, but we chose this one also because it also has this kind of medieval sound to it, and that's also what we like to kind of show people when we are on the road, because it's a bit it's a bit special way of singing, and it sounds a bit different. So and it's fun to talk about.
Yeah, it sounds very medieval. And how do you arrange this singing? So you take like old sheets, and or do you arrange it like in a new way?
We just pick up choir versions of them, and then we find a key that fits us. And since we have pretty wide ranges of vocal ranges, we can sing. Usually we sing arrangements that are made for mixed voices. So we'll sing the tenor, the bass, but also the alto and the soprano. But except in one case on the album, there was a song we really wanted to have called Ljósfaðir. And the arrangement, it was just written in such a way that the mixed choir arrangement did not fit just male voices. So Daniel, he just called up the composer, and he agreed to make a different arrangement just for us, which was both a big honor, but also kind of shows a little bit how Iceland functions. It's a small country, as you know, so it's easy to reach out to people. Everything is closer. Through the years we had a few of these. I was just thinking today on the way over here that we actually sang with the former prime minister once. So that's kind of Iceland in a nutshell. Everybody kind of knows each other or knows a friend of that person, and everybody can sing.
Yeah. In the interview you made 13 years ago, you mentioned a very nice detail that maybe the polyphonic on Iceland is so popular because people didn't have so many instruments. Like, is this really true, or it's a myth?
No, I think it's true. I mean, there were a lot more trees when the first settlers arrived, but I think at least the story goes that they were chopped down quite quickly. So soon after we are a country with very few forests and trees. So I don't know if it's 100% true, but it must be that's the reason why we had so few locally made instruments, and we didn't really import much either. So all people had were their voices. So it kind of sounds logical that that's the reason for these rich traditions of people just singing together, and also in modern times a lot of people are singing still in choirs, church choirs and other choirs, and so I once heard the number 10% of Icelanders have at least at one time been in a choir. I don't know if it's true or not.
I think it's way higher.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
10% is not that much,
No?
I think.
Maybe 10% didn't never be in the
Maybe
choir.
that's how it was, yeah.
So, but in these days you can order from some store from Germany, like Thomann, a guitar, and but the polyphony is here. It remain.
It lives on. Yeah.
Yeah. So, the next one.
Next one is a Christmas song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
that's the one we talked about
Yeah.
earlier, where the feast comes.
Hátíð fer að höndum ein.
Hátíð fer að höndum ein, hana við allir bríðum, líðurinn dendri ljósin hrein, líður að tíðum, líður að helgum tíðum, gerist nú brautin bein, gjerting í víðum, ljómandir kemst á lári grein, líður að tíðum, líður að velgum tíðum, líður að helgum tíðum, stjarnan lásin augastein, andaðu geislum blíðum, loga fyrir hinn litla svein, líður að tíðum, líður að helgum tíðum, líður að helgum tíðum.
The band Árstíðir from Iceland plays live in our live session studio on Radio Proglasu. I was thinking that this Christmas song, they sound really like also spiritual. That no commercial,
Yeah.
no jingle bells.
No. Yeah, it has this echo of eternity because it's based on such an old technique of singing, based on these parallel fifths, as they're called. And if Bach heard what we just sang, or especially the previous two ones, then Bach would turn in his grave probably, because it sometimes breaks the rules of music theory. But like the Icelandic nature, it's a harsh kind of beauty. It's different, but it's also beautiful in its own unique way. And I should also mention that all the three songs we just sang are, of course, on our new album Vetrasol. And also what the listener should know is that the album is not available for streaming anywhere. You can only find it on our Bandcamp page. You can listen to it there, and you can also download it if you want. And you can also order it physically from our merch store. So
We actually have a funny website. When we went to the States, we toured the States, and we knew that nobody could pronounce Árstíðir, and nobody could even know how to write it if they wanted to find it online. So we made the band site islandicbandname.com.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, so that will take you to the where you can listen to our new album.
Oh, I think it's not so difficult, Árstíðir.
What?
Yeah,
You do it very well. You do it very well. But yeah, like Daniel saying, if you hesitate, just type in islandicbandname.com in your browser.
It's more simple than the name of the volcano from the 2009 or 2010. Can you say it once more?
Eyjafjallajökull.
Yeah.
But a much harder word is, for example, umferðaröngþviti. So we do have more difficult words. That means a traffic jam, by the way.
Oh, very nice. You have to time to say it because you are in the traffic jam, you know.
yeah.
And then we have a new volcano, Fagradalsfjall.
Okay. That's great. The new album is related absolutely to the winter.
Well, yeah, the title, like I said, the Vetrarsol refers to the light and the type of the way the sun kind of appears, because we have very short days and the sun doesn't go high up. So when it's during the daytime, we only get a few hours of daylight, and the sun just sort of kind of looks over the horizon and then goes back down. But it's we call that Vetrarsol, and that's the name of the title, the name of the album. So it is a wintry album, for sure, and 2 Christmas songs on there.
Are you gonna play this material on summer?
Some of the songs are, of course, timeless, like Hernas Miður, and they have nothing to do with the seasons. And so those are the songs we'll be singing, and I all year. And also, I think the drinking song. I think we'll. I'm looking forward to drinking to singing that in the summer in Czech Republic over a glass of pilsner.
Pilsner Urkel.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but we have better beers.
Okay,
than
which one?
just No, it's a product placement, so I will tell you.
Tell us after the show.
Yeah, after
We'll
the show.
order that,
Okay,
yeah.
but trust me. So fine. We have time for another 2 songs, and the next one is.
Play a song from our first album. Before that.
Nu glemist ég.
Yes, we're gonna play a song from our second album. That's from 2011. It's called Nu glemist ég. Which means now I will be forgotten, something like that.
Eftir í nauðir vindar kalla, lokast af með sjálfum mér, forviri herjar fjörðin. Fastur í helli enginn heyrir, hrópa einskis vefa, finn hvergi leið göngin þín. Helgirðu fyrir sorgir og dýr, hörfundan krostinu gráa, vonum að sárum verði skriðum af fjallinu háa. Út að lognast kvöldið kveður, langþreyttur hvíldar sofna ég. Rekk aftur upp við brestir nóttina lengi versnar veður, dagurinn sem aldrei var, heilið lokast göngin, kemst aldrei héðan út. Helgirðu fyrir sorgir og dýr, hörfundan frostinu gráa, vonum að sárum verði hlýtt, skriðum af fjallinu háa.
Very emotional and very cinematic music. Do you guys compose music for series from Iceland or Scandinavian series? You know.
Well, Ragnar does
Yeah.
here on the piano.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually writing the TV series right now.
Very nice. You can tell me then which series it is. Is it, and then I will check it.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Well, again, there's one out already. So if anyone listening has comes across a series from Iceland called Fractures, then I wrote the music for that one, and it has a very Icelandic vibe. I think both the series and the music.
Very nice. Very nice. You are on tour now, and the people from different countries, they are interested in the meaning of the lyrics, or not, or are they satisfied just hearing you and listening to you? And
It's a good question, actually. I remember when we started touring, I was a little bit worried about this, to be honest, if this was going to be okay. But we also had, role models that had shown us that in the past that this was possible. Björk and Sigurós, for example, go out to the world and sing in Icelandic, and people were fine with that. But after talking to the audience, they sometimes ask us about the meaning of the lyrics, but many also say that they actually appreciate not necessarily understanding the lyrics, but they like the tonality of the language, and they like being able to sort of make up their own meaning for the song. So everybody can have like very different meanings or messages, and that's also nice. But we do mix our songs, like we sing in English as well. So it's like 50-50 maybe, usually during a concert.
guys, we are before the last song now, and I have to say bye-bye to our listeners and to our watchers. That was the show As You Like It on the Czech radio station, Radio Proglasu, for today. And I would like to thank the band Árstíðir from Iceland, Daniel, Gunnar and Ragnar, and also Jean Samuel on violin and Guillaume on cello. Thank you. And
Thank you.
and good luck today.
Thank you.
you so much.
Thanks also to our technician and sound engineer Ladja Kubista, and also the video engineer Peter Franz. Yanis Moras from the host microphone. Thanks for your attention, dear listeners, and enjoy the last song. Which one will be?
That's called Heiðin, and it's a song from our first album.
Köld veröldin veit ég varla á þér sama stað. Friðingan í andartaka, ekki getur sæst við það. Getur